I'm your girl, Talk to Tongie. We're gonna do life together. This is Talk to Tongie. I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly. Fear is nothing, you hear me? You can do anything you put. I'm your girl, Talk to Tongie. We're gonna do life together. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, 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 welcome. Hi, it's been way too long. You do know that, right? I'm your girl, Tongie. Welcome to another edition of Talk to Tongie. On this show, you know me as friend Tongie. All right, it has been a whirlwind of a day, and to tell you how excited I am to be in your presence is an understatement. It really is. Welcome to season 2, man, of the Talk to Tongie show. I can barely contain myself because I'm so excited. All right, what is this show all about? I'm glad you asked. The Talk to Tongie show is a show about reminding you of your uniqueness, your abilities to overcome life's challenges, and just how very valuable you are. And you really, really are. It's a show that highlights the achievements, the dreams, and pursuits of you right where you are. It's created to give you that chance to tell folk about your story. That's what it's about. And it's about your being the demonstration of a soul, of a life that is destined not only to change right where you are, but to change the world. If you dare to believe. Seriously, you really can. Before we get into tonight's show about overcoming stigmatisms, I'd like to say a very special hello to our very own Miss Linda Dower. Yeah, man. Yeah, I miss you. And thank you so very much for believing in me and believing in this show. I'm truly grateful. I'd also like to say hello to Miss Callista of Prody's House of Roti. That's my girl, man. If you're ever up in the north and you're looking for some roti, you gotta go out and check out Miss Prody. You'll know it's her because you'll see my sign. My shameless plug, right? And I also want to say a hearty thank you and thank you to Sakuraji, Mr. Aristotle himself. He was a guest on the show, and he's always doing some nice things for the show. He really, really is. And to you, because I could not do this show without your support. When I tell you that I am grateful for you, please believe me. When I tell you that I get to live my dream, and that's coming and telling you that you really can do anything you put your mind to, that it does not matter where you were born or what little you may have. It does not matter. What really does matter is that you get up every day and you say yes to yourself and yes to life. And I almost forgot. I gotta say a hearty thank you to a man that had a tooth extracted and he still showed up for me. Thank you, Kendrick. Big ups to you, man. Thank you, Stacy and Morgan and Caden and Kendrick and all of those who are behind the scenes that make it possible for me to be right here. I am truly grateful, and I do not take it lightly nor for granted. So thank you. All right? Debunking the lies of stigmatisms. You know, that is a mouthful. And before we get into all of that, I see this guy telling me that it's time for a break. So guess what? We're going to go for a break and then we're going to get into it. All right? Thank you again for being here. Be right back. This is Dr. Tongie. I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly. Fear is nothing, you hear me? Anything you put your mind to. I'm your girl, Dr. Tongie. We're gonna do life together.
You are absolutely amazing, a breath of fresh air, a true light in the darkness, and I am so grateful for you because you are amazing, and you truly have added so much value to my life that I'm beyond grateful that God has allowed our paths to cross, and I feel honored to be able to make this video and to talk about you and give you your flowers and just mention the numerous ways that you have significantly impacted my life, because you have, and I don't know what my life would have been like without you, and I don't think I want to because you have planted seeds in me that have impacted the person that I am today, and I thank you for that. And you've also planted seeds that help catapult my relationship with Christ. You've shown me how to walk out being a kingdom citizen in a world that, isn't necessarily conducive for that. And you've shown me what it's like to share the love of Christ, to be that light, and to share that joy and that peace and that comfort. And I thank you for that, because it gets hard, but you are such a warrior and such a true inspiration that you've helped me find the tools to make that possible. And I'm forever grateful. I love you so much. Thank you for everything.
This is Dr. Tongie. I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly. Fear is nothing, you hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to. I'm your girl, Dr. Tongie. We're gonna do life together. Okay, we are back. Thank you yet again, St. Lucia, for turning out, allowing me into your living room, your bedroom, your life. I am grateful. You see the smile, right? All right, let's get into this debunking the myth, the lies of stigmatization. Britannica Dictionary defines stigma as a set of negative, unfair beliefs that a society or group of people have about something or someone. And when you're dealing with stigmatization, it's the action of describing or regarding someone or something as worthy of disgrace or great disapproval. Selah. The stigmatization of any kind creates a world of hostility. It does. And if you're not careful, it'll foster an unjust assessment of someone before you even get to know the person. When stigmatization is present day in and day out and constantly berating someone, a new breed of destruction is formed, and it's called self-stigma. And if you're honest with yourself, and I'm being honest here, I know a thing or two about dealing with self-stigmas. I was the one who was real smart in school, but kind of got tied up in emotions and became a teen mom. No one thought that I could do anything with that, but that was their thoughts. So stigmas, right? Overcoming them. They're lies. And we've got a guest this evening that knows a thing or two about overcoming stigmatization. When I was first introduced to this and I got excited, I cried, I pinched myself because his story, it's synonymous with what should be going on in his life. But I want him to tell his story, his way. I know that it's going to encourage you. I know it's going to motivate you. It's going to move you from where you are to where you really, really do want to be. And I just believe that by the end of this broadcast, you will be 10 steps further than what you thought. And I believe that you'll decide once and for all that you're going to be the change that you need to see. All right? So, before we introduce him now, I need you to stay interactive with me. Facebook Live. We are live on Facebook. So, if you go to either DBS on Facebook or Talk to Tongie, I will read your comments and be interactive with you. So, thank you for that. Okay, without further ado, here we go, man. All right. Mr. Sheldon Archibald. Did I do that right?
That's right.
He is the man who said, you know what? I'm going to do something. And when I began talking with him, I asked, so did you realize that you had the power to do this? And I think you told me, but you do, dude. You really, really do. So, Mr. Archibald, I'm going to call you Archie. Is that all right?
Yes.
All right, Archie. He is a gentleman. He is a warrior. He is a game changer. Someone who put the past in the past and said, you know what? It's not going to dictate my future. It ain't going to dictate my now. Right? All right, Archie, I'm going to ask you, how did you get here? Some people say by water taxi. Some people, somebody told me, I got here by my car. I drove, he said.
Drove.
All right, man. How did you, first of all, would you tell this amazing audience that we have, you're among family and friends this evening, dude. Mm-hmm. How did you come up with such a way of debunking the lies of stigmatism? What is it that you do?
I believe in myself. That's the first thing.
All right.
Self-confidence is key.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not have self-confidence that you can attain anything or accomplish anything, you will not have the drive to pursue.
Okay.
Stigmatization places a hold on people where just because they're stigmatized that they're unable to reach certain lengths. But as you know, the old saying, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Come on, man.
Right? With that philosophy, I've always known that, okay, if you lose that one way, you should try another way.
Okay.
Until its end. So I have this theory, we usually say in my area, not until death.
Come on.
Meaning, not until you stop. You
All
keep
right.
trying.
Okay.
And you keep trying until you accomplish.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, that sounds real good in theory, all right? Yay! Let's get on to the nitty-gritty, man. You hail from a community where people just really believed, I said with the ED, they believed that nothing good can come out of this community. Yeah. Would you tell us exactly what it is that you've had to face and where you're from?
I face many relations in terms of stigmatization in the sense of the history of my area. Many incidents have passed over the years where it placed this stigma on the area of negativity in terms of crime. It placed influence on the area of heavy crime influence, meaning that people perceive that once you associate with this area, you associate with crime, misfortunes, and all these negativities of society. But these are just repercussions of different social ills. But it's at the end of the day, it is up to you to use what you have to pursue, to try.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, sometimes it has to do with the influence around you. The people that can give you the support or the belief there is an opportunity that you can rise. Because of stigmatization, it has limited a lot of people's vision. Many people cannot get a job. Because when they say, I came from this area, one time you stigmatize, nothing good will come out of this guy. I always believe that everybody needs a chance. Unless you don't give somebody a chance. Sometimes some people may falter along the way. Sometimes some people need more than one chance. But at the end of the day, you must never give up, because everybody pursues something for better for themselves and their family. So this is one of the reasons why they do certain things, just for their survival and betterment of their family. So we should, at ourselves, in our own right, know we want betterment for ourselves, families. So we may be able to go along a certain path, but other people do not have that choice. And we should not classify them just because of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Would those who do not know what we are, what community we are talking about, what is the name of your community? Wilton
Yard community, commonly known as the Graveyard.
That's where I kind of want to hang out this evening, because you said it yourself, when you are stigmatized, how it will kind of parlay or give the perception that nothing good can come out of the graveyard. With a name like the Graveyard, you think about that. We know that that's our final resting place. Everyone, you know, you kind of think about a graveyard. What sparked you to be the change maker in your community?
It has to do with understanding the ills and effects, more or less, right? The ghetto already has many ill effects. It doesn't have to only do with the graveyard. It has to do with many other, Conway, Grass Street, Folligua, all different kind of places. But it all has a reason, as a result of poverty-stricken.
Poverty-stricken.
Right. So because of poverty, most people get limited to certain opportunities. Sometimes parents, because of being young, like you said, you were a teen mother. Growing up in such an area as a teen mother is looking at opportunities, much influence to say, well, okay, not after you bear a child that you do have opportunities. You're limited because now you have to take care of your child. You have to drop out of school. Different kind of things. Your parents, because of poverty, they cannot give you that support to guide you to come back on track. Because you already was a bit of a burden sending you to school. So the mere fact that a child comes in place now, you yourself now have to rise to the occasion and provide for that child and be a supporting factor. So it all boils down to a lot of decisions made. But at the end of the day, I realize I'm only limited because of my own thought, my own perception. And if I can tell one person, or at least give somebody else the confidence to realize that not because you came from that, you are limited. It is as much as you apply that will keep you back. Thing based on your own effort.
Didn't I tell you you're free? This isn't inspiring for someone like myself and others watching, then shame on us. Talk, if you will, about some of the day-to-day that goes into, I guess, the mindset of looking at something or looking at your surroundings and thinking, how do I move? How do I do this? What's your day-to-day like when you, well, prior to your being in the position that you're in now, because you no longer have that stinking thinking, that's what I like to call it, what's a day-to-day like in trying to overcome a stigmatism?
Difficult. Very difficult. Heartbreaking, tiring, frustrating. Sometimes you feel that, well, you cannot go on just because of opportunities that lay before you that you probably believe, like, okay, someone advise you of an opportunity, and when you go, you're limited because of from. For sure. What's your ability? So as someone sees and say, oh, you came from the graveyard, I gotta think. At the back of their head, they wonder, this guy is a criminal. He has criminal influence, and so on. No. So at the end of the day, you tend to have to resort to, if you go legal, mediocre work, not showing your full potential. For sure. Because you come from the ghetto, you're victimized in terms of policing. Because just they know, probably because of the race, they see you, they spot you, they're aware of you. Probably you were a little vocal just because of your friends. You see some injustice done and you're vocal, you're remembered. you get victimized just because of that. You appear, you reach in a situation and somebody just mentioned you came from this area. You tend to be treated differently from the lot.
Wow.
So if one person was indicated among your group said they came from Cap Estate, he would be given a preferential treatment in regards to you would be roughed up and probably alienated from the situation. You know, so these are many different things. Sometimes you may miss it because you're accustomed to it and you know what it is not making any sense voicing, because at the end of the day, some people have already set their mind.
Right.
What you need to do in your own sense now is find other avenues. Like I said earlier, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Absolutely.
So if you want to find something, there's many other ways. If you cannot get it through this person, find somebody else.
For sure.
There's always a way.
There's always a way, and I love that saying. You better believe there's always a way.
There's this proverb, like everybody knows, where there's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely.
So if you want to accomplish something, a way must open up.
Absolutely. Wow. Man, come on. You're dispelling all of these gems to us, Guy. You don't look like what you've been through. If you would accept that as a you really don't. You honestly do not. What was it that caused you to shift, to say, you know, enough is enough?
It also has to do with my upbringing. Despite I was born in the ghetto, I got the influence of being in a, how I would say, upper class family. I got adopted.
Oh, wow.
Right into upper class family, more civilized. They cherish the topic of education. So going to education kind of broadened my mind and broadened my perception. I did subjects like economics, politics, and different kind of things. I funded school more or less by working summer jobs and paying for my tuition. So I kind of developed a thirst for knowledge, always wanting to learn. So that was one of my attributes that helped drove me to my present stage. I always was curious to learn and to say, okay, even though I may not be able to do one thing, probably I can do something. Multi-talented, be able to multitask. Because at the end of the day, being in such a situation, being born from an area, it limits you. So at the end of the day, sometimes you have to get a sense of independence. And if you don't do certain steps and processes in your life independently, you would never move forward. For sure. And for you to believe in yourself is an independent move. Absolutely. Because sometimes people may be able to give their opinion and tell you, yes, you can do it, but not until you're able to take those opinions and embed it in your mind and your thought that, yes, there is something in what they just said and drive you and motivate you, will you not start to move, progress.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know, I feel like I'm sitting in the presence of greatness. I know I am. I know I am. And I'm amazed, I'm humbled that I can literally reach out and touch a game changer. Someone who's doing something in the marketplace. Now, what's going on in your community that is literally giving anyone who will reach up and grab it an opportunity to do something different? What's going on?
Well, presently we have many things going on, initiatives going on. We have our after-school kids program where we try to start from a young age and educate the youths better in after-school programs, help them with their homework and different skills, computer skills and different things like that. Okay. Through assistance from major stakeholders as the Rise, Dr. King, Boo Hingson, and all these persons. We also, presently right now, we're trying to team up. An idea came out where, as you know, stigmatization in regards to our tourism, our main income earner in the island. For sure. We're red zone. Certain areas of Castries are red zone, meaning that tourists are not permitted to go because of possibility of crime happening, and Wilton's Yard and the other ghettos are one. We derive an initiative where we say, why can't we change this initiative and see if we can bring in the tourists to understand different, how would I say, what they say, community tourism. All right, that initiative. So, and at the same time, possibly in this approach, we can empower, enrich our own people.
Absolutely.
So we devised a tourism initiative, Wilton's Yard Enrichment and Empowerment Program, where we would team up with many stakeholders, tourism stakeholders, SLHTA, and different persons. Well, presently, most people think politicians are involved, but they're not involved. It's mostly us, our idea, and stakeholders as the SLHTA, where we will try to revamp the different ghettos, put in very programs where we can display cultural acts and different things to entertain at the same time, thereby bringing in the tourists in the communities, and thereby one time permitting fair trade, where the locals can put sell crafts, sell different products, and introduce and make the tourists feel more at home.
Wow.
And at the same time, erase the stigma.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Didn't I tell you you were in for a treat? Didn't I? All right. There's so much more that we've got to talk about. You do know this, right?
Yes.
So what we're going to do is go for a quick break, and then we're going to get back into it, because I'd love to know, how do you shift the mindset of those who have been in the community for so long and who've been indoctrinated to believe that there's no change. Change will never come. Oh, but they were wrong, weren't they? Yeah. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Your girl, Dr. Tongie, you know, from the Talk to Tongie show. Are you ready to maximize your business exposure? Of course you are. Why not consider placing an ad right here with me on the Talk to Tongie show on DBS?
My dearest Tongie, you have been a person who has impacted my life in so many ways. You have added such value and love to my life, and I hold you in high regard to that. I say thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for showing up when the chips were down. You have been my rock, my sister, my prayer partner, and my friend. Thank you for sharing your children. We have a special son together, Morgan. But you have also shared Taisha and Tyrone with me. And I love them as if they were my own. My daughter Megan loves you as well. And she calls you Mama T. And I'm sure you know that. Well, people would wonder, how are we related? And how do we share such immeasurable love? So let me tell you. I know this is unheard of love. And I wish everyone could experience the love that we share. We are family. Tongie was my husband's first wife. He is now deceased. But when I say this, this woman and her family stood by me and mine. Whew. When Max Scott, who we refer to as Terry, because that's always been his nickname, when he departed this life, who was my husband, Tongie's first husband, she came to my house with support in tow. Tongie, Stacy, and Taisha. We put the devil on notice that night. We prayed for strength, understanding that surpasses all others, and healing. That night, God delivered. He gave me what I wanted, and He gave me what I needed. Years ago, when we met, we bonded right away. Never an unkind word from her. Never a falling out. Never across anything. I have called on you, Tongie, so many times. And you've been there every time. I'll never forget the calls, the prayers in the wee hours of the morning for anything, the financial support, the calls just to keep me in the loop, the birthday calls, the songs, of course, all of our texts, and the visits. They've all been special. And you, my friend, sister, I love you. Tongie Scott, my hat is off to you, and I love you forever. Till we speak again. Take care.
This is Talk to Tongie. I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly. Fear is nothing. You hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to. I'm your girl, Talk to Tongie. We're going to do life together. All right, family, we are back. Thank you yet again for hanging out with your girl, Tongie, on Talk to Tongie, with our very special guest, Mr. Sheldon Archibald, who allowed me to call him Archie. Is that right?
That's right.
All right, let's make a few declarations here. Are you ready? Tonight is the night that we will commit to being better because we can. We're going to commit to showing compassion because compassion will move us to do. And that's exactly what my new friend is doing. He is doing. Right before the break, I asked you, how do you mobilize? How do you mobilize the old heads that think that change will never come? It's just who we are. How do you move people to see your vision?
Actions and results.
Aye.
Despite you tell many people your vision, most people don't believe unless they see action.
Mm-hmm.
So thereby you have to create some form of action to help them start believing that it is attainable. Mm-hmm. And not unless you provide avenues and different means to actually open their eyes and visualize, because as you know, with time comes change.
For sure.
Okay, and many people are kept back in certain time. This is why there is difficulty to change. Mm-hmm. That there is a perception that change cannot happen.
Right.
Unless we cannot open our mind and broaden and accept change, we will not believe that something can change.
Absolutely.
So my initiative is, despite the resistance, keep going, keep trying. Once an opportunity presents itself, see how you can take that opportunity and mold and form, a next step.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of initiatives, Archie, you guys have something that's really, really taking on like fire here. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things that you're doing to literally bring that spotlight on Winston Gardens, right? Wilton's Garden.
Wilton's Yard.
Wilson's Yard. What are you doing, dude?
Okay, well, like I indicated first, we have the initiative with the SLHTA and the Ministry of Tourism for the Empowerment and Enrichment Program, where we're looking to have tourists visit the different ghettos and the community members put on different cultural acts and everything. Thereby one time, how I say, entertaining our guests, our tourists, one time giving them the ability to sell probably their crafts or whatever items that they have and generate a form of employment. We have also, along with other persons, strategized a tour.
Speak on that
package.
Tour. All right.
Yes. One of my friends have a fleet of bikes, electrical bikes. You know, we're trying to promote climate change and stop emissions by the introduction of hybrid vehicles. Electric bikes are along that line. So in order to change the former SLASPER package where people were walking around and everything. We have integrated electrical bikes.
Wow.
And we're gonna do a tour package to historical sites within the Castries city.
Oh my gosh.
Which is mainly targeting the VG Peninsula.
Ah.
Okay.
Okay.
Due to the high level of cultural and historical influence in that area. As you know, the peninsula has the battery, the lighthouse, the cemetery, Shock Cemetery, along with this, and Castries Port was a very integral part in the history of St. Lucia in terms of the war between the British and the French.
Okay.
It was a strategic part for Columbus and them when passing ships were pirates and everything. So bringing people and bringing them to these points will help them feel a sense of how we in St. Lucia lived, how the culture raised, and everything. And being, I guess, coming from the ghetto, it provides an opportunity for possible employments in terms of tour guides and tour guides assistants.
Okay.
Right. So I've strategized a team where I will be doing customer service programs. I'm training with the St. Lucia Tourist Board.
Okay.
Training on tour guides. So at least I have 6 tour guides already aligned.
Are you serious?
Yes. So I will be signing up with tourism to do customer service as a tour guide, an assistant. Also to give them history lessons in terms of the different historical sites and the history. So when they go, they're quite informed to inform the tourists and the patrons. We're also looking to strategize a walk around Castries.
Oh, wow.
Where we, instead of using the bikes, we'll have our tour guides bring them to integral historical sites, the church, the square, Constitution Park, all these places. So at the same time now, we try to generate a form of employment.
For sure.
Right? And not have to bear forth to, how I say, employers putting the shade in the light. So we ourselves trying to become employers, positive employers, and provide an opportunity to boost the motivation and to remove some form of stigma within our own people. To make them realize that they can work out there and benefit.
Come on.
Right? So sometimes somebody else might reject you, but just going through our avenue can possibly give you an opportunity.
Oh my gosh. Wow, man. You talk about being that catalyst, for lack of a better word, that catalyst to really kind of bridge the gap. I liken you to someone that I've read about that is the repairer of the breach, because there's a breach, and until we repair it, we're going to keep having the same thing over and over. And what I'm talking about is the stigma, right? And we're debunking these lies in stigmatization. I know you're doing an amazing job, man. Literally saying yes. How do you motivate? You know, I don't want to go back to the ones that are kind of stoic and not seeing the vision, but how do you motivate people to change their minds? Because we know that anything that we do, it's going to happen in the mind first, right?
Yes.
How do you motivate folk to do this?
Well, I try to visualize possible avenues. I'm very good at perceiving entrepreneurial, more or less, opportunities. So most likely I can see a small opportunity and derive a small entrepreneurial opportunity out of it.
Wow.
So people tend to have, because of my background, I had a financial background. I worked Bank of St. Lucia and different things. So people kind of have a little confidence in my knowledge.
But of course they do.
Right? So this was one of my strong points I use basically. So the time I visualize and I spoke to them, I help them visualize possibility of, and there's an opportunity if you try it.
Absolutely.
Now, I always tell people, you will never know unless you try. So at the end of the day, you can say, okay, yes, but not unless you try do you see that.
Absolutely.
it's possible.
It's possible, absolutely.
Yes.
I am so very, very proud of the work that so many others have literally rolled up their sleeves and said, yes, I can commit to this cause. I can commit to this change. I want to welcome those who are watching. If you're watching and you're online and you kind of want to drop a line or two, please feel free, man. You're welcomed. I'd like to say hello to Miss Arlette Richards. Thank you, Miss Richards, for joining us this evening. She says, great to have you back, Dr. Tongie. Man, it's great to be back, too. It is. Now, you mentioned a couple of names. One that I do know, Dr. King, Stephen King, right?
That's right.
How influential was his being there for what you're doing, the change that you want to see in your community?
Mr. Dr. King is a very integral instrument in change in our community. Dr. King has provided, like you said, the repairer to the bridge. He has provided many avenues for us to speak to many stakeholders.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Most people sometimes, just because of you coming for initiative and because of, like I said, where you come from, they do not want to listen to your idea. Dr. King was one of those who listened to our idea. He helped us emphasize on it, build on it. With his program of Rise, the opportunity to help fight crime and all these things, this was one of the avenues in which he used to bring hope to many of the poverty-stricken areas. And, working with us and bring that idea, he worked to support us, to help us realize that, okay, our ideas are not bad.
Yeah.
Probably we should try it, listen to the people and try, give them a chance. Probably, if we take it from this step, we can gain results.
Absolutely.
Instead of we just blindsiding, you don't know what you're talking about and this. But what most people don't realize, we know a lot of these things because we experience day-to-day tribulations. We go through different situations that actually make us feel the brunt of life. So sometimes people living I'm not bashing anyone, in the high class society, the upper houses and so on,
For sure.
they tend to forget a lot of struggles that happen to people along the way of reaching that success. Sometimes they forget their own struggle that they had. Right, just because they have reached and people recognize them, so their heads swell to a point that they forget where they come from.
Ouch.
But it's at the end of the day, it is for some to support some.
For sure.
And remember, and Dr. King was one of the integral persons who actually supported us.
Yeah. He was a guest on the show. Hey, Dr. King, I hope you're watching, because you're going to be a guest. Another guest. But it was something about just being in his presence and listening to him. This man could literally decide to sit on his laurels and, just do whatever it is that make him happy and spend time with his family. But he was one of those ones that literally rolled up his sleeves and said, okay, I hear you, I see you, you matter. How important is it for someone to be on the other side of going through, of a struggle? How important is it for that person or persons to reach back and lend a hand, even if you're not from the area?
It is very important because at the end of the day, everyone within the area is limited. So you require help from external factors. You require help from all possible external factors. Everybody believes that the government should be the main external factor to assist. But sometimes you need your own initiative and your own drive. We cannot always depend on the government.
Yeah, man.
We have to try and find other means and avenues where we can think of a strategy, and probably along the way the government will now intercede and assist.
For sure.
Most people think the government's supposed to think of the solution for all problems we have. Fix the road, fix this, fix that. But if we take the initiative ourselves to do one thing, possibly we will better ourselves to a point that afterwards the government come and then can give us a support.
Absolutely.
Because they do want to be in the spotlight. But at the end of the day, there's so much around that they cannot attend to everyone at one time. and everybody feel that they're supposed to get the benefit of the doubt. Everybody want to have that personal attention, give it to them. But you have to at least realize that sometimes you cannot wait for someone to feed you or give you. You have to go and get it yourself. And then as time goes along, you will get that support.
Absolutely.
Right?
Wow.
You know, so even in all these things that, like, okay, for example, we did this initiative with the tourism. Many houses got repaired. Right, people got better living conditions. We broke down a few of the houses and completely rebuilt it, giving people brand new houses, and painted it up and beautified the Wilton's yard.
Yeah.
Though people watch it as what, a ghetto, but when you look at it now, it's completely different from what you saw it 10 years ago.
Wow.
When people walk in now, they say, hey, it's since when Castries has a tourism village, because we painted different buildings, different colors, we put matching lunch tables, beautify it, proper lighting, proper everything, you know, fix up roofing, give some of the old houses that were still in good condition a paint job, you know, wash the, give the youths to pressure wash the sidewalks, repair the drains. So the community got a total revamping just through this initiative and help better the lives, you know, considerably. So at the end of the day, most people may think, well, okay, we're talking, but action has been taken and there have been results. Some of it may not be direct, as you may see, but living in the conditions, you can experience the changes.
Absolutely. Man, you're just... Wow, boy. What do I say to someone who literally is becoming the change, man? You literally are the change that you want to see. Wow. How you feel?
I feel great to be a part of it, you know. I'm not the forefront, but to be an integral part of it, I'm emulated. I'm ecstatic.
Absolutely, absolutely, you are. Now, you mentioned something that I've kind of grown to respect a lot of: education.
Yes.
Yeah, education for me was my freedom to express my internal desire to be and to do and to become what I believe that I was created to do and believe that I was created to become. How do you get the idea into a young person who may be experiencing lack? They may look around and all they see is hopelessness. What do you say to that boy or girl that is saying, yeah, man, I hear what you're saying, Archie, but you don't know my story?
Yeah. Many people say that. But at the end of the day, education is key, knowledge is key. Without knowledge, you cannot advance in anything. If you don't have knowledge, how do you ride a bike? How do you drive a car? How do you read a book? You need knowledge to start. So if you can, with their interests, you have to take that as the starting point, as the motivation factor. They want to attain something, they want to reach something. You try to give them knowledge of the avenues that they can use. Okay, it's not okay. Sometimes you might say, okay, school, I am tired of school. Okay, you're not tired of school. You like to be on the tablet. Why don't you study a few YouTube videos? Why don't you watch watch the guys know how to fix up a bike? All different kind of things. These are things. So instead of you using the normal traditional ways, you try and improvise it. You understand? Improvise, use a different strategy. Internet, everybody is privy to internet. Everybody likes technology. So instead of to me, in my basis, I believe we should have computer classes given to primary school children, because they're already knowledgeable from, not even primary school, infant school, because they're already quick to learn on the thing. So by that time they learn, by the time they reach primary school, their mind could have already developed to perceiving different softwares, different kind of things, which tertiary offer. We have budding engineers because we give them an early foundation. If we want to wait till they reach SAFA to start teaching them about computer, how do we expect when they reach as an adult that we would have someone aspire?
Absolutely.
They will not be interested, because society ills will distract them. That's when, you know, distractions are key when they've reached teenage life and these things. So if we can influence them from an earlier point of age, from kindergarten, this kind of age where their mind is super absorbent, the task to influence them to knowledge will be a little more easier.
Wow. I think he told us, didn't he? Of course he did. Now, if you want to stay interactive with us, you can, and we welcome that. Please join us on Facebook Live, either Talk to Tongie or DBS's Facebook page, and we will definitely read your comments and suggestions, and just kind of let us know that you're watching and what you believe that we can do to debunk these lies of stigmatism. Stay tuned, because someone's telling me we got to go for a break, but we're going to come back with this amazing gentleman and pick his brain just a little bit longer. Is that all right?
Yes.
All right. Stay tuned. Be right back. Your girl, Dr. Tongie, you know, from the Talk to Tongie show. Are you ready to maximize your business exposure? Of course you are. Why not consider placing an ad right here with me on the Talk to Tongie show on DBS?
Hey. You know, Dr. Tongie is a good friend of mine. She has been a good role model, a good person to look up to, and she's just full of life, full of love, and she shares that with everyone, and she lives true to her principles. She has just been one person who has got your back always through all forms of life, and I'm very grateful that I got the chance to meet her. You know, love you, Dr. T.
This is Talk to Tongie. I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly. Fear is nothing. You hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to. I'm your girl, Talk to Tongie. We're going to do life together. All right, family, we're back, and thank you yet again for hanging out with me this evening, with us rather. Again, this is season 2 of Talk to Tongie, and it's such an honor and a privilege to be here. You have no earthly idea. I believe that this is the season where you begin to see a shift in everything that you've ever dreamed about, everything that you've ever envisioned for yourself and for your family and your community. Which brings me back to my guest, Mr. Archie, who is literally working and living from the inside out. Now, Archie, what were some of your own self-stigmas, if any, that you've had to deal with?
There've been many.
Yeah?
Yeah, just the fact that I come from Wilton's Yard. Wilton's Yard, as you know, the graveyard has a high intensity for a lot of killings over the years. So people tend to think you're of that demeanor, a hardened criminal, you know, that you associate with that you know, high-minded criminal, you know, it's just this. So you tend to lose opportunities. Some opportunities sometimes are taken away from you just because of perception.
Yeah.
You know, so these are...
Yeah. So if you were talking to that young man that's watching this evening and he's saying to you, all right, I think I get it now. What 3 things would you say to him or her about starting where you are? What 3 things would you encourage them in starting where you are?
3 things.
Yeah.
First thing, believe in yourself and your dream. Okay? Once you believe in yourself and your dream, pursue it to your best of ability. Never believe that where you come from can influence. It has an influence, but it's not the end factor. You can always change. The same way you can learn to drive a car.
Yeah.
You can, before it was manual, times change. It's automatic now.
Yeah.
There's more than one way.
Yeah.
Don't believe that you're limited. Okay? Always try to look for opportunities. You may not get that opportunity from this person, try to talk to somebody else.
Yeah.
Read, gain knowledge, as much knowledge as you can, because knowledge is power.
Yes, it is.
Okay? Without knowledge, you would not be able to get many, how would I say, many ideas, many opportunities arising within your head. So as much as you can, gain as much knowledge as you can. So after you believe in yourself and your dream, gain as much knowledge on your dream as you possibly can.
Okay.
All right? And just keep going and strive.
Keep going in stride. I love that. I absolutely love that.
Basically, fight till death.
I love that, man. You know, I've got my own initiative going. I've got this GoFundMe campaign for the beautiful people of Ancillary. And it's not to belittle or to talk against. It is, for me, when I went to this community and I saw these amazing children and their amazing mummies and daddies rolling up their sleeves and being the change that their children needed to see, being the change that their community needed to see, I fell in love. And I said, whatever I can do to literally rebuild and revitalize, then sign me up. I'm here for it. And I just believe that. I honestly do. I hope that you believe it too and you'll give donations. Yeah, I know. My shameless plug. Check us out at www.drtongieshow.com where you can get more information about that. What do you want to see, Archie? What do you want to see that would say to you, life is good and we've created a little slice of heaven right here on earth?
More support from the external. Less stigmatization. All right? More belief that there is opportunity with help. Because you see, the thing about it is we class ourselves too much. We say, okay, because our friends are from the cap estate and the upper class, we will help them, but will not help. You know, if we help a poverty-stricken person, we give them a mediocre job, clean the yard, do you know, something that's a bit degrading. Though they make an income, it's an honest job, but sometimes the mind is greater than that. Right. Not unless you tap. So I want to see less stigmatization and more involvement, more, you know, prompting people, giving them strength in terms of support. Yeah. From the different stakeholders. It doesn't have to be necessarily government. It could be private sector. It could be a personal person. You have thing you believe in our initiative. Come and support. You know, come and give your idea. You know, come and say, you know, I heard about that and so on. You know, I believe I was observing. Yeah. You should try this and so on. You know, if anything, we can team up on that. You know, I don't mind investing in that. You know, at least even though we touch the life of one person, but that one person can touch the life of somebody else. And before we check it, we do a cycle. Absolutely. And we touch the life of many persons. Absolutely. You know, so at the end of the day, we should stop the stigmatization and just give a chance. Just give a chance. Even though there are failed opportunities before, never give up that it can work. It can work because the idea might not be within the first person. It can be within the second person. It could even be in the grandson, that the little child that coming up. But it's because you give an opportunity to probably the parents that their eyes open up and they made that opportunity happen down the line. Absolutely. I can feel your passion. I don't know about you guys, but I get a sense of pride from you. I get a sense of I'm not giving up. I'm not throwing in the towel. I don't care what it looked like. I'm going to get up and try again. How can people follow along, give to your initiative, and just be a part of this newness that you guys have going? We haven't done any support thing like a GoFundMe fund or anything. Okay, all right. So, but we have initiatives that we will come to different stakeholders. If we do happen to come to you, I advise that, you know, listen, give us a listening ear, give us support. And if we do start the initiative and we ask for your patronization, I advise that you patronize. Wow. You know, just one person come and patronize would be, you know, a little help. Okay. It will be one by one, it adds up. You better believe it does. You know, then after a time, eventually the stigmatization will be phased out
Come
because
on,
more
man.
people involved over the time,
Yeah.
it burns out the stigmatization.
You better believe it does, man.
Yeah.
Where did the time go? They're telling us wrap it up. That gummit. Archie, thank you. Thank you for being the voice in the wilderness of change. Thank you for not forgetting those, man, who are tired, you know? Thank you so very much for just saying, yeah, I see it. We can do it. St. Lucia, you've been charged this evening. There are so many initiatives, so many projects that you can literally get involved in and be the change that you want to see. Why not give Wilton Yards? Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Wilton Yards. Why not give Wilton Yards a chance? We are excited about what is taking place. We're grateful for those like a Dr. King and the other gentleman. What's his name? Forgive me. Yeah.
Boo Hinkson.
Yep. Yep. Thank you so very much for rolling up your sleeves and not forgetting that there are those who, they're not asking for a handout. They're just asking for an opportunity to have a seat at the table. And you know what? I just believe if you and we don't give them the opportunity, that they're going to create their own opportunities for change. Thank you, St. Lucia. Thank you for allowing us to come into your lives this evening, for lack of better words. We are in for an amazing season this season, and if you have something that you want to have highlighted or showcased, hit me up. Seriously, really. www.drtongieshow.com. You'll have a link on there that you can fill out and just give us the information, and someone will definitely get in touch with you. Your story needs to be told, and I'm your girl to tell that story. So, until next time, thank you. To God be the glory for your lives. Until next time. Mwah! Bye. Thank you, sir.